how are you? Happy Friday. It's Friday when I'm recording this anyway. 11 foods that can help you control your hunger. That's what we're gonna talk about today. By the way, I do have some notes here in my pretty little notebook, and I'm gonna put them right down here, so if you see me looking down, I'm not trying to be tricky, like with little cue cards here or something, but I have a serious problem remembering things these days, my menopause brain, and so I had to write some stuff down just in case. So that's what I'm doing if you see me looking down like that. Okay, before we get into the 11 foods that can help you control your hunger, I want to talk a little bit about hunger in general. Couple of important points here. So hunger is a natural cue our body gives us. It is not an emergency, though it can really feel like it. It can be very anxiety producing. People worry about, I don't want to get hungry, or I'm feeling hungry, and they feel like they have to find food right then. So when you start to feel that way, reminding yourself that hunger is just a natural cue our body gives us can be a useful thing to do. It actually can be useful in helping you to manage your calorie intake. And I'm gonna talk about how that is in just a second. So if you think about yawning, when you yawn, it is a sign that you might need some sleep at some point, right? You don't yawn and then immediately think, I have to find a place to sleep, like right now, I need a nap, I'm gonna lay down. That's not reasonable, nobody does that. But we do that with hunger, right? We start to feel that little bit of hunger and we're on it, right? Like we need a snack and we keep snacks in our purse and in our drawer and in the car, just in case, just in case, just in case. Now, I do realize that yawning is not uncomfortable and hunger is, but they're very similar in that it's a bodily cue for us. So just reminding yourself that you're supposed to feel hungry sometimes can help ratchet down that anxiety a little bit. And then you can practice sitting with hunger. So how do you do this? First, you have to recognize what hunger is, because we eat for a heck of a lot of reasons that have nothing at all to do with being hungry, right? We eat because we're being social. We eat because we're bored. We eat because we're stressed. We eat because stuff tastes good. We eat for a lot of reasons. And so recognizing what actual hunger is, so it's this sensation in our belly, in our abdomen, we feel this empty, hollow sensation, and that's what actual physical hunger is. So looking for the signs in your body that you're actually hungry, and then waiting. Ideally, you would wait 30 to 60 minutes before each meal and sit with that hunger. I know that might feel like way extreme right now if you're not used to that, if you're not used to being hungry at all, because you immediately eat when you're hungry, but you can start very small. You could start with 5 minutes and wait for that sign that you're hungry. Now to do that, you have to actually not snack all day long. You know, that's something we do a lot. We just eat all throughout the day and we don't ever really get hungry. So waiting to eat until you feel that empty, hollow sensation, giving it 5 minutes before you eat. That would be a good starting point. And then building that up until you feel that sense of hunger and you sit with it for 30 minutes, maybe even pushing it to 60 minutes before each meal. And so then that would mean then eating a filling meal and then waiting again, however many hours that would take until you start to feel that sensation again. And this is a way that you can control the amount of calories you eat without counting calories. This is something to work towards in the long term. It is a more advanced skill. I am a huge fan of calorie counting. I think it works really well for losing weight. And this that I'm talking about right now, you can do in conjunction with calorie counting so that eventually you don't have to permanently count calories for the rest of your life. You can pay attention more to your natural body signals about when to eat and how much to eat. So that's one way that hunger can help you as you're losing weight and to maintain your weight. Another thing is, if you are trying to lose weight and you're not making progress, so the scale's not moving, your clothes aren't fitting better, you don't look different in pictures, your measurements aren't getting smaller, pay attention to your hunger. If you're never hungry, it is a sign to you that you are eating too many calories. So some measure of hunger does come along with eating in a calorie deficit. It just does. You are eating fewer calories than your body burns. So you will have some measure of hunger. Now that brings us to these 11 foods, because you do not need to feel ravenously hungry. You shouldn't, there's no reason to. And so you look for ways to manage that hunger. And one of the best ways you can do that is by eating foods that fill you up and keep you fuller for longer. So foods that typically do this are foods that are higher in protein, water, and fiber. So let's get into this list. Foods that are high in protein: cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, fish, beef, eggs, pretty much any source of protein. Now, eating protein at every meal is a really good strategy for controlling your hunger. Protein's important for a variety of reasons. When you're trying to lose weight, and helping manage your hunger is one of those reasons. If you typically don't eat a whole bunch of protein right now, aim to start eating some at every meal. Work your way up till you get to like a little more than 30 grams of protein per meal, and you're at a really good spot there. Okay, so fiber and water also really help. So fiber, beans, oatmeal, those are two really good foods there. Eating a bowl of oatmeal can keep me full for hours in the morning. Mixing it with some yogurt, even longer. That's a really good combo there. Of course, fiber and water, vegetables. Newsflash, vegetables. Late breaking news, vegetables, good for weight loss. So, I mean, that sounds silly, but obviously we know vegetables are good for weight loss, but why? Well, because they have a lot of water, a lot of fiber. You can eat a ton of them. You can eat so much volume of vegetables, which then leads to you staying full. And you do that for very few calories. So whatever vegetables you like. It's why I like having a big salad as a part of a meal. That can really help. Not that it has to be salad. If you don't really like salad, you can choose other vegetables. It's really important to choose foods that you like. So some other foods that have similar qualities there, as far as eating in a big volume, having lots of water, fiber, but that aren't vegetables: watermelon and strawberries. You can eat both of those. You can eat like an entire pound of watermelon or an entire pound of strawberry. It ends up being about like 3 cups for less than 150 calories. It's like 137, 145 calories. That's amazing. That's a lot of food, and it keeps you full. Another food you can eat in really large quantities: popcorn, air pop popcorn, not like movie theater popcorn slathered in butters. That would be way too many calories. You'd have to eat a really small amount of that. But you can eat a very large volume of air pop popcorn, and it keeps you really full. So you can get, it's like 3 cups of air pop popcorn for only 100 calories. That's amazing. So you can eat a lot of it. One final thing: boiled potatoes. Have you ever thought about potatoes being a great food for weight loss? Maybe not. A lot of people are scared of them because they're carbs. You have no reason to be scared of carbs, but I know a lot of people are. There was actually a study done in the early 90s. I want to say it was done in Australia, but I'm not totally sure on that part. And at the end of this study, they compiled this list, and it's called the satiety index. It's a list of foods that helps to keep us full. A lot of the foods I mentioned here today are on that list. The one that topped the list was boiled potatoes. So having some potatoes can help you to stay full. Lots of water and lots of fiber there. So there you have it. 11 foods that can help you control your hunger.